Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, July 19th. Over the next few days, we will have a decrease in lightning activity, but today we will see similar conditions to what we saw yesterday, with scattered to numerous thunderstorms anywhere from western and central Nevada eastward across the northern half of Utah. These thunderstorms will be a mix of wet and dry, but some areas will certainly see much wetter thunderstorms, and we'll probably see more wetter thunderstorms on average than drier storms in this area of yellow, especially as you go further east. We will have some gusty winds still to deal with drier conditions in the far south and over parts of northwest Nevada. As we move into Thursday and Friday, temperatures will really start to heat up. It'll start over in western areas of the Great Basin and spread eastward for Friday through the weekend. These temperatures will be 5 to 10 degrees above normal and will be approaching some records, especially as we get closer to the weekend. Drier air will be pushing in from the west, so we will see a decrease in overall lightning activity, but still isolated thunderstorms on Thursday scattered across parts of Utah into eastern Nevada. And even on Friday, we could still see a few isolated storms, but coverage again will be on the decline. Looking at the last 24 hours, we've had numerous thunderstorms anywhere from western Nevada eastward across Utah, and these thunderstorms were definitely on the wetter side in some areas. Some areas only saw a few hundredths of an inch of precipitation, but many other areas saw over a tenth, and some areas saw over a quarter or even over a half inch of precipitation in some of these heavier thunderstorms. Great Basin fire activity has continued to increase. We did have reported 20 fires across the Great Basin for just over 430 acres. Most of those acres were up here on the Gold Run fire in Idaho, the snowstorm in northern Nevada, and the Clay fire down on the Arizona Strip. Over the last 7 to 14 days, we've seen drier conditions across the Great Basin. However, obviously recently we did see the increase in lightning activity with the precipitation, which is not accounted for in these images anywhere from central or western and central Nevada eastward. So again, what we saw yesterday is not accounted for in these maps, but otherwise we've seen below normal precipitation. Looking at our current ERCs, they continue to be on the rise. We will see some decreases in ERCs in those areas that we will see showers and thunderstorms both yesterday and again today over central areas of the basin. But in areas where we've seen our fires that have grown to over 100 or 200 acres, again, those ERCs are above normal. And down in southern areas of the Great Basin, still near record levels for the time of year, just due to the dryness with the lack of the monsoon moisture. Our satellite loop from this morning shows a ridge of high pressure dominating the southern tier of the U.S., and this is certainly keeping our temperatures warm. Around this area of high pressure is where we'll continue to see that moisture band. We already have some showers and thunderstorms that have developed this morning over western Nevada, and these will continue to increase further eastward as we go through the afternoon. So for later this afternoon, again, the main focus for thunderstorms and showers will be in similar areas that we saw yesterday, anywhere from western and central Nevada eastward into the northern half of Utah. And our significant fire potential is generally low to moderate across the region. No high risk with these thunderstorms, as again, we will see higher humidity and a mix of wet and dry storms. So relative humidity where the thunderstorms will be located will generally be above 20% today. Further north and south is where we'll see our drier conditions, where the RHs will be in the 10 to 15% range. Winds today will still be breezy over southern areas, but generally in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range, and a slight decrease from what we saw yesterday, and then still some breezy winds along the Sierra front. Obviously, near any thunderstorm activity, we could see gusty outflow winds. As we move into Thursday, the ridge starts to build further north, so we will see those temperatures start to warm for the first day, and also some drier air working in from the west. Still some lingering moisture over the eastern half of the Great Basin, so anywhere from eastern Nevada eastward, we still will see those isolated thunderstorms tomorrow, but certainly a decrease in coverage from what we will see today. Very little change in our significant fire potential, just a little bit more drying up north into Idaho. Relative humidity will be dropping in many areas, but still somewhat elevated across Utah and into parts of eastern Nevada, where we will see that lingering moisture and still isolated thunderstorms. As the ridge builds in, winds will be on the decrease, so we will see lighter winds region-wide, still some breezy winds with gusts in the 20s in far southern Utah. By Friday, the ridge really starts to amplify, so those temperatures really start to heat up. Still, we will have some moisture trapped beneath that ridge, so we will see a few isolated storms still on Friday, but again, limited coverage. Otherwise, we will continue to see drying in our significant fire potential map, so more moderate fire potential on the map than low. Looking at relative humidities, we will see more of a significant drop with relative humidities in the single digits to teens across the entire region, and under that ridge, light winds. 3-day amounts of precipitation, most of that precipitation will be occurring today with the larger area of thunderstorms expected anywhere from western and central Nevada eastward. And then again, we will see more isolated activity after that, so any precipitation past today will likely be very spotty and limited. As we move into Saturday, this looks like to be our warmest day in the next 5 days as the ridge really amplifies. So we will see temperatures well above normal. Some areas will see near records, most valley locations over 100 degrees. Some moisture wrapping around the ridge. We could see a slight increase in thunderstorms over parts of northeast Nevada into southern Idaho. Again, a fairly limited area, but a little bit more coverage probably than what we'll see on Friday or on Thursday. Significant fire potential with the heat and the dryness continuing to increase. We will see many areas going to brown, so more moderate fire potential on the map, but still no high risk. On Sunday, the ridge continues to dominate, still some moisture wrapping around the ridge, so could see some thunderstorms building in southern areas of Nevada, more so on Sunday, and then continuing over parts of northeast Nevada up into Idaho. And then on Monday, we will see a greater push of moisture as this trough moves into the northwest coast and really helps fuel that moisture northeastward around the ridge. So could see a greater uptick in lightning as we go into the early part of next week. Right now, no high risk. It still looks like more of a mix of wet and dry, with certainly some increased humidity in some areas of precipitation. On Tuesday, the trough moves a little bit further eastward, so again pushes that moisture east, so you likely will see thunderstorms over the eastern half of the Great Basin, and you can see that transition on the 7-day fire potential map to a little bit more yellow on the map with that moisture moving in. Temperatures, again, really start heating up as we go through the end of this week into this weekend, with Saturday potentially being the peak day, where again valley temperatures will reach over 100 degrees, some areas around 105 in Reno, and near 115 down in Vegas. 7-day total precipitation, very similar to the 3-day, with much of that happening here today. However, as we get into early next week, that's where that moisture really moves in from the south. And the 8 to 14-day outlook, taking us from the end of July into the early part of August, still shows warm temperatures and now still above normal precipitation, mainly for the eastern half of the Great Basin as that monsoon moisture pushes north. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.